and welcome to my channel. Unless you're new here, and then just welcome. My name is Rusty, and this is my channel where I talk about my favorite movies, mostly horror, and my favorite music, mostly metal. Hey guys, how are you doing? I did not have my keyboard. Hey Ginger, I'm a Ginger too. My name isn't Red Rusty for nothing. How are you doing, 180? I am going to watch my new Christmas classic and just have people make fun of me watching. Before work, it's 10 till 7 here. You're going to work on the midnight shift on Christmas? Hey, Miss Carter. Had Ginger stop by? 180 stop by? Yes, I am going to put on Better Watch Out. It is one of my new Christmas classics. Absolutely love this movie. I had it on DVD. Now I got it on Blu-ray. I know everybody's watching Silent Night and Deadly Night and stuff like and Black Christmas and stuff like that. This is my new classic. I watch all of those too, but yeah, I don't recall this having a very intense soundtrack. So maybe YouTube won't shut the stream down because there's not a lot of stuff going on. Inside, I've been scared to watch that. I heard it was like really gross. Is that the one with the woman with pregnant, and yeah. So, yeah. Yes, I know. I didn't know whether or not I was going to be able to do it or not. But anybody's welcome to join it if they want to. Yes, it's way too intense. I don't mind body horror, but I don't know when it comes to that kind of stuff. Somebody going, inside, it just might be in the. Everybody's sensibilities are really different. I mean, I absolutely love I Spit on Your Grave and stuff like that. Yes, it was filmed in Australia. It's an Aussie movie, and he tried so hard. He did a wonderful job. The director did a wonderful job making the set look like small town America. So he did a really, good job with that because although it was filmed in Australia, it was not set in Australia. It was set in a suburban American neighborhood, and he really did a good job. I watched the whole documentary on him making it. So it's really fun. I know there's the scene, where the guy gets in the tree. That dude had just gotten a job as one of the Power Rangers for one of the Power Ranger movies. So his manager would not let him do the stunt, the hanging in the tree. And so they had to come up with these weird ways of filming that scene to make sure he didn't put him um, that they did not put him in danger. So the manager was like right there, and they had to set up all kind of things to where they could make the manager satisfied because the manager felt that this little horror movie was nothing compared to being a Power Ranger. So they were not going to let him get hurt. So, yeah, it was filmed in Australia, but it was made to look like an American. There is no accents in the movie. And I did just get Levi Miller. I just got his new movie because I love Levi Miller. He is like really wow in this movie. It's right here somewhere. Um, Here's another Australian movie. This is Moffy. It's no, it's not. That's South African. I'm sorry. I meant to get that out. Well, that's just very interesting. Um, that All the Boys Love Mandy Lane with Amber Heard. That movie always made me think it was filmed in Australia, but it's not. But for some reason, Australian movies, which I love Australian movies, like the what is that one? The Beauty Queen, who kidnaps the boyfriend and tortures him in the house. Um, that's an Australian movie. I meant to get that movie out so that I could show it on screen. Australia has a boutique company called Via Vision, and I was really excited a few months ago when Via Vision released a brand new remaster of I Love Man, All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. It is region free. It is a Australian release, but it's region free. And they also did Mask. So Via Vision is like I guess one of the best boutiques in Australia is Via Vision. So they actually made a deal with the company that made I Love Mandy Lane, All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, and they released a brand new remaster. The DVD, yeah, because like there hasn't been a domestic release for Mandy Lane since it was released in like 2013. Well, I don't know where it's at. Maybe it was in my last update, and that's the reason why it's not up here. But yeah, I was very excited. It is easily, I don't know if Umbrella is, but Via Vision is. I know that Mask, I can get it. I can get it. Okay, folks. This is what's available in America. This is the DVD of All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. And a few months ago, this came out. This is Via Vision. It is the brand new remaster. It's got a beautiful hard box. And as you can see, it's Australian. And it is region free. So you can get it. It's readily available. You can find it pretty easily because it is a new release. It's been out for about 6 months or something. I nearly about fainted because All the Boys Love Mandy Lane is one of my top 20, probably 20, 30 horror movies ever made. I am a complete freak for that. So, and the mask one, I want to get that too from Via Vision. It is also region free. So I don't know about Umbrella. I don't know about Umbrella, but I know that Via Vision's movies, or at least these few that I'm looking for, are region free. So, yes. And I already watched it. Of course, I watched it the day that it came in, and it is region free. It does play on my Region A Blu-ray player, and it is beautiful. They kept the grain. They kept the green front, the thing. I get mine from Pop Market. It's an eBay seller called Pop Market, and they often have a lot of boutique and for a decent price. And that's where I got Mandy Lane from. Was from Pop Market on eBay. So yeah, they are a fantastic. I definitely, was very, very thankful that they did this because it's impossible to find Mandy Lane on Blu-ray until Via Vision did this. So that's pretty cool. Yes. Mandy Lane always, the director said that he wanted to make it look like it was filmed in 1978 or 79. And I think that he did. I mean, All the Boys Love Mandy Lane looks just like it was filmed in 1979. It's also got the sepia filter, which gives it that slightly yellow appearance of the 70s movies. So all of that was intentional when he filmed it to make it look like it was filmed in 1979. He wanted to make it look like um, right before the 80s. And I think he did a perfect job with the cinematography in that movie. So, so yeah, we're going to watch this movie and hopefully I know I don't need my headphones unless someone is on the screen with me. So it should be all right. I think you can hear the movie. That's what I'm saying. I did watch alongs before, like I watched the 2006, you know, Day of the Dead, which I happen to love, and I had no problem. Previews, more previews. Last Day for the Cut. That is a fantastic movie. I have a place in my heart I have a big place in my heart for the 2008 or 2006. It's this one. I've got all my dead movies out because I'm going to do a festival. It's this one, the 2006 or 2008 Day of the Dead. I know that it's like laughed at. Hey, Gore, how are you doing? But I have a special place in my heart for that one. And I'm going to be doing all of the ones that I have. I'm going to do a dead festival. So I'm going to do all of my dead movies that I've got: Return of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Bloodlines. I'm going to do all of them. So, yes, I'm going to do a dead festival. It's one of those bad movies that I understand that it's kind of bad, but it's one of those so bad that I love it, like Gutter Balls and the Nail Gun Massacre. So, you know, it just makes me laugh. I've got an entire live. I watched it for the first time live on YouTube. And so you can see, if you go into my lives, you can see me watching that movie, the 2006 or 2008 Day of the Dead. And no, I don't. I didn't know that there was that. I just actually picked up three dead movies this month so that I could do this festival. The Night of the Living Dead, I got it. The Day of the Dead remake from 1990 with Patricia Tallman. I got that one. I got Night of the Living Dead. Or no, that's Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, I got the 80s 85. Yeah, I love Alice in Chains. Well, I don't really like the new Alice in Chains as much as when he died. So I don't really like. They're okay, but I don't really particularly like the new lead singer for Alice in Chains. When Lane Staley died, that broke my heart. But yeah. But yes, next I will be doing that. Next I will be doing that Dead Festival. I've got all of them now except for um the one that's like really expensive. You can't get a hold of it, and when you do find it, it's Region B. It's from overseas, and so I won't be doing that one. Oh, the Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead. I'll be doing the remake instead, and in its place, Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, I've got that too. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun. I've been wanting to do the Dead Festival for a while. That's the reason why I bought those three, so that I could finally have enough of them. I like Bloodlines as well. I like all of George A. Romero's. I like the 2008 one. Um, Although people hate me for it, there's only one Dead movie that I don't really care for, and that's the original. The black and white. Dirt was definitely their best album, yes. Facelift as well. I like Dirt and Facelift pretty much equally. Oh, my favorite tune by Alice in Chains. Oh, jeez. Wow. Oh my God. I don't know. It really probably would be, the one that made them famous. But Jess, I guess we should, I should, before my. So, yes, I am going to. This has definitely became a Christmas classic. Everybody had plenty of time to put it on if you happen to have it. Um, that's what I said. People hate me for it, but people hate me a lot because I like movies that I'm supposed to hate, and I don't really care for movies. I'm fixing to watch Better Watch Out for Christmas. Um, yes, I just started it. It's just starting now. I'm very very I'm very very forgiving or tolerant of people hating movies that I like, and but they're not a lot of people are tolerant about you disliking movies that they like. So I don't know. No, actually I watched the 2008 Day of the Dead live in the middle of the night one night. So no, it's not my first live watch along. I guess it's the second one. I don't hate the black and white Night of the Living Dead or whatever that is. I don't hate it. It just didn't do anything for me. But people do not like it if you don't like something you're supposed to like. You're supposed to love the original Evil Dead, which I do, but you're also supposed to love Evil Dead 2, and you're supposed to love Evil Dead, uh, um, the idiot one where he goes into the Middle Ages or whatever. I can't, I hate that movie beyond all explanation. I like, Evil Dead to me is the original Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2013, and Evil Dead Rise. That's all I consider the Evil Dead. Levi Miller. That must have been in my last update because I can't find it. I had it sitting right here to show his new movie. But yeah, I did watch live in the middle of the night. I just turned on YouTube and I threw on that 2008 Day of the Dead and I just sat there and watched it and I loved it. Oh, I've never let them affect me. I think it's sad that they trash me or that they act bad, and don't accept that. Why can't I dislike Ash versus the Evil Dead? What's wrong with me absolutely despising that movie? Virginia Madsen is so amazing in this movie. Virginia Madsen and the dad, even though they're only like the first 7 or 8 minutes, and then the very, very end of the movie. They make such an impact. Virginia Madsen makes such an impact in this movie. Correct. It doesn't stop you from absolutely adoring it. And I don't understand why people think that it does. You know, if I tell them that for my own personal reasons, that if for my own personal reasons, I happen to call the Nail Gun Massacre a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece because it brings me such entertainment and joy to watch that movie. And people act as though I have like did something very bad to their pet dog or something. I don't understand why there's no acceptance of other people's likes and dislikes. I understand that you may absolutely think the Nail Gun Massacre is absolute dog shit, but what does it hurt you if I love it and think it's a masterpiece? um, I love Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2, and people hate it. I love the unicorn too. I like the director's cut. And people are like, the unicorn scene makes no sense. And I'm like, well, it does to me. So I don't know what your problem is. Why does it matter? Yes, I can't stand the Ginger Dead Man. Although I did see a still book of Ginger Dead Man on Hamilton Books, Miss Carter. You should get it since you love Ginger Dead. Poor little Garrett. I feel so sorry for him in this movie. But that's what you get for hanging around psychos. I can't help it. You know what I was taught when I was a child? My grandfather is like a hero of mine. My grandpa, my papa, and he told me when I was a little kid that you waste so much time of your life trying to lie. Lying was the worst thing you could do. Lying and faking because it takes so much effort, it takes so much time. You have to think of these lies, you have to act them out, and it just wastes your time. So I've never been able to do that. I was taught. I mean, I wasn't taught to lie, so I don't know how. So when people say, something is wrong with me for not liking Evil Dead 2 and Ash versus the Evil Dead, I'm like, actually, no, there's nothing wrong with me, whatever. I just don't fucking like that movie. I fucking hate him. I hate that movie. So what? Army of Darkness. Yeah, I mean, I hate Army of Darkness. I despise that movie so much. And then people act as though I've like called their mother really bad names. I don't understand it. I don't say anything to anyone when they tell me that I'm crazy and Nail Gun Massacre is a piece of shit. I'm like, I know it's a piece of shit. It's a beautiful piece of shit. It's a masterpiece piece of shit. Well, what? Five Finger Death Punch has a song called I'd Rather You Hate Me for Who I Am Than Love Me for Who I'm Not. And I'd rather hate you for who you are than love you for who you are not. So, that's one of my favorite Five Finger Death Punch songs, you know. So I would rather you hate me for who I am than love me for who I am not. That's just the way it is. At least your hatred would be sincere and your love would be fake. I don't fake and I don't want your fake. It just seems to all work out better that way to me. Because see, my youngest son is autistic and he has no filter and he doesn't waste his time lying. He just says it like it is. I know, right? They really act offended, and I don't understand why you could be offended that I cannot stand your movie. Miss Carter, she likes that movie by what's his name, Jordan Peele, and it's called Nope. You know his movie Nope, and I really, really loved Get Out, and I really loved Us. So I was so excited for that movie, and when I thankfully went and watched it on another platform before I bought it, I hated that movie. I was so I was so amazed at how much I hated that movie. I couldn't believe that I hated it as much as I hated it. It was a very shocking. But she's never like hated me or attacked me because she likes it and I don't. It just doesn't make any sense. He's 13 years old, but you can't hold his liquor like him. He is knocking back that bottle of liquor. I do remember you saying that, Ginger. I remember you saying that. I saw you say that on a show with Gore, I think. And I thought to myself, but you notice I didn't attack you in the comments, but I thought to myself, dude is crazy. Gary is one of the best movies ever made, ever, ever, ever. And I can't even begin to understand how you would hate not like Carrie. But that doesn't make me think anything bad of you or feel offended. I'm just like, I don't get it, but so what? Who cares? I know, right? I'm like, how can you possibly not like Carrie? But that's the same thing people would say to me, how could you possibly not like, you know, darkness or whatever that is, the third Evil Dead movie. Yeah, I'm sure you got your reasons. Yeah. I mean, you have to have your reasons. And who am I to get inside of your head, Ginger? Um, I have no business inside of your head or in your heart as to how you could possibly not like Carrie. So obviously, whatever it is, I respect you enough to know that you have your reasons, that Carrie does not appeal to you and it does not touch your sensibilities. So why the hell would I care? Because I expect you to respect my sensibilities, so I give it in return. Carrie is just phenomenal. It's beyond masterpiece. Well, it's like my brother. He was making fun of me because I just upgraded the Percy Jackson movies. You know, I just upgraded the Percy Jackson movies, and he was like, "What are you, 12?" And I'm like, "Who are you?" Who are you to insult me because I like Percy Jackson, damn it? Yeah, I'm totally not mad at you at all, Ginger, for being really, really wrong. As Gore said, I am not mad at you at all for being completely wrong. It is your right to be completely wrong. Hey, y'all, look at this. I managed to get the very last copy that Pop Market had of Satan's Little Helper. I cannot wait to watch this and do a video on Satan's Little Helper. Did you know there was a new Charles Manson movie? I didn't know that. It's called Charlie Says. It's a new horror movie with the family. Charlie Says. I didn't know that. So I grabbed it the second that I saw it. Yeah, you see there though, but I could not stand. I didn't really like the rage. No, wait, I might be thinking of a different movie. Prom Night 2, Hello Mary Lou. That's what I'm thinking about. Prom Night 2, the Hello Mary Lou was a good movie. I mean, I enjoyed that movie, but at the same time, um, I was extremely offended about the absolutely outrageous amount of female nudity in that movie, and there was no male nudity at all. Is my stream still going? It says it is. Okay. Well, I don't know. I keep expecting YouTube to cut it off. Also got their last copy of Daniel Isn't Real, the Tim Robbins' son and Arnold Schwarzenegger's son's little horror movie. Got Strange Darling.
Oh my god, no, I can't. I can't. Why would they go to the attic? I'm so sorry.
They had fallen onto the floor. Yeah, but that's the other two dead movies that I got to be able to do my festival. The Day of the Dead from the 80s and Return of the Living Dead.
No. Why? What? No.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Why won't you just the most inappropriate thing ever?
That kid is just like too much. I have heard a lot of people rag on the original Prom Night, and it really pisses me off. But not to the point where I like insult them or say anything to them. Yeah, those are the three. Those are the three ones.
You can see me. How many fingers am I holding?
Those are the true ones I got this month to fill in some holes so that I could do as many of the dead movies as I wanted. Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead remake with Patricia Tallman. From Babylon 5, she played Lita on Babylon 5. And Return of the Living Dead. So I needed those three to have enough dead movies to do a festival. I absolutely love Terror Train. It's really cool to see Vanity when she was, you know, when she was young. She's credited as Denise Williams or Denise Matthews. Prom Night and Terror Train are phenomenal to me. I love both of them, and it kind of pains me in the left side, right under my rib cage, when people insult Prom Night and Terror Train. But that's their right. I don't say anything to them.
Luke, no, what are you, Luke? Whoever's out there, cut it out. I know Taekwondo.
Because I'm just sorry, but Jamie Lee Curtis is the queen.
Get off me! You're making me like, you asshole! The hell, man? Sticking up on you, I nearly called the fucking police. What were you doing sneaking around back there? In the backyard.
Who's Brittany Snow? What did she play in? Besides, I mean, what could I think of to recognize her?
Luke, what's your phone? I have one. Okay, dial 911. I'm going upstairs. If I scream, press send and hide. Got it? Okay. Shit, you want to stay down there? Okay.
This is such a wonderful twist ending movie. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it used to be okay. The other watch along I did, um, you could hear the whole movie. You could hear every word that was being spoken if you go watch my watch along of Day of the Dead. It doesn't cause an echo because my device has earphones attached to it. I just don't need to put them on because no one's on here with me. Like if you were on here, I would put the earphones in, I could hear you, and it doesn't cause an echo as long as the device you're filming on has headphones in. I think the reason that you can get in trouble watching a movie and it being heard is the songs. But this movie doesn't have like a lot of songs or anything in it. YouTube might cut off your stream if it's playing a bunch of copyright music, I guess. I don't know. But just the movie going, I've never seen anyone's watch along cut off. Yeah, that's what I was saying is that I think if YouTube does cut off your feed, it's because of the music playing. Because I thought about that when I wanted to watch this, I was like, this doesn't really have a lot of music in it. I don't know what YouTube gets pissy about these days. It is become one of the worst platforms ever. I mean, really, it's become one of the worst things ever. They block you, they shadow ban you, they have this weird algorithm. especially if you're a small channel or you're not monetized, they really abuse you. Right. I mean, it can be really weird. But I don't really know of another place like BIT shoot. I don't know if you can stream to them. Because I love that platform. It's just not, popular enough yet. They have been adding a lot more new features though. It's still irritating me about that movie. I don't know where it went. I'll actually have to go back and watch my last update to see if I had that movie in there. I think I've seen a trick that some people use. It's like when a big soundtrack section starts, they start talking really loud. They decide that's the time to do a commentary is when a song starts playing or a piece of soundtrack that is well known starts playing. They will choose that moment to start commenting. And you know what's weird about this movie is that until the ending, it's like this is really kind of a scary movie. I think that's the reason the ending of this movie freaks you out so bad is because it really was, or it really is, a very slasher esque, um, psychological, scary movie, and the twist just kills me. But I didn't have. I commented all through Day of the Dead when I did that one, but it was just me, and I didn't comment a lot. I never got in any trouble. I had to switch things around to do this. I usually watch. My Blu-ray player is hooked up to this computer, so I watch it on this monitor. But to be able to do this movie, I need to film on this computer. So I had to switch my Blu-ray to this monitor and hook the speakers up to this monitor. So I had to switch some things around to do this, but it's working out fine. So thankfully, I'm not scared of spiders, or that scene would have freaked me out because I have spiders all in my house. I live in Florida, so we have the Florida crevice spiders, and there's a bunch of them right over me. People like, how can you live around all these big black crevice spiders? And I'm like, because they're non-aggressive. They keep any bugs out of the house. I like them. They won't bite you. To get one to bite you, you would have to like sit on it or roll on it. I think, yeah, that's the best way to start a trouble. This chick, has she been in anything else? Olivia DeJonge. Have a good Christmas then. I recently bought the visit. Oh, Olivia was in Elvis. Oh, okay. Who does she play? Priscilla? So who does Olivia play in Elvis? Oh, yeah, she does play Priscilla. Okay. I love Priscilla Presley. But that's because I'm a Dallas freak. And, she plays Jenna Wade for like 5 or 6 seasons on Dallas. So that's actually where I know Priscilla Presley from is my obsession with Dallas. The complete fourth season, I've been watching it right now. So I am crazy about Dallas. Just a little bit of more weirdness for your knowledge of me. Yeah, she was in Naked Gun too. I didn't really care for those movies, but then again, I'm not like a huge comedy fan or American comedy. I like British comedy. Because they're little yobs. That's why they would do it. This is all completely true that she just said, but she has no idea exactly how psycho he is. Dude, what did you just do? He knocked her the F out. That's what he did. What did you just do? Oh, he had a gun. He like clocked he pistol whipped her. And then she wakes up all masking taped to the chair. I'm telling you. She thought he was crazy. She had no idea. And it's right here, the movie had a certain vibe up until that moment when she gave him that speech and then he KO'd her down the stairs. The whole tone of the movie changed in just like 60 seconds. And that was pretty because it was like a lighthearted slasher. Um, you know, well, a lighthearted, you know, don't answer the phone thing. When a stranger calls, it had that vibe up until he did that. And when he did that, it really turned into a American Psycho type vibe. Because you have to be like a real psycho to do this kind of stuff at 13 years old. And what's funny is even his friend, Garrett, knows he's nuts, but even he doesn't know how nuts he is. And to be that young of an actor and pull this off is pretty amazing. Show of your acting skills. Yeah, the director knew all of them. Actually, if I remember his interview, they were all on like an Australian soap, one of those Australian soaps, nighttime soaps, kind of like Dawson's Creek. That's where the director knew them from. That's where he got them from. Was like an Australian version of Dawson's Creek. He is so subtle in his psychosis. And I would believe him, you know. I mean, it was amazing that she survived that fall down the stairs. It was like Meryl Streep and, you know, Bruce Willis and Goldie Hawn. Because when he let her fall down the stairs, she didn't make it at the bottom. She was broke into 20 pieces. So I would definitely believe that he would shoot. Death Becomes Her. They just released a new remaster of it that I've got to get because I've only got it on DVD. But I did say they had released a remaster of Death Becomes Her, and I want it. Next payday, though, I've already got too much stuff on my list. I've got to pick up movies for my top 10 list. I got to get Smile 2, the new 4K of The Gift with Kate Blanchett. I did all of my Christmas shopping way before Christmas. His mouth, man. Where did that kid get that mouth?
everybody knows you screwed Jerry. No, I don't trust him to the last 12 years. I looked over there. Dated you too.
Oh my God. I'm serious. I mean, how would you as an adult deal with being held hostage by two 13-year-olds who are like wanting to touch you and stuff? I just don't, that was just, I don't, I feel for her. This culture has went completely too far.
Shopping, hey, white shopping. Don't.
Yeah, they're at a Christmas party. She was supposed to give him a pill and knock him out. I mean, from her mother, it's like, be sure to give him his sleeping pill and put the little pencil up on the door to make sure he doesn't come out. So obviously he's like got issues.
Are in so much trouble. The both of you when your parents come home.
See, she tries to use psychology on Garrett. It's like, this dude is getting you in a whole lot of trouble, so help me. That's what she's trying to do. Pit them against each other. See, she's trying to pit them against each other. She does make a very good final girl. But she didn't choose the horror path. I think it takes a special kind of actress to like legitimately choose the Scream Queen route. But I have seen a few of them who like they are really happy being in the horror community. The little girl from Halloween in 4 and 5. I've got a bunch of her movies. She chose to be a Scream Queen. That's a true horror fan. Danielle Harris, right? She chose to be one. I've seen some interviews with people who are like, "How come you stick with?" Well, they're horror fans, so they intentionally do a bunch of horror movies. They like doing horror movies. Danielle Harris is one of them. Scout Taylor Thompson. I mean, Scout Taylor Compton. I've got a bunch of her movies too. I think it's brave for an actress to choose to be a scream queen. Linnea Quigley. Jamie Lee Curtis, she tried to branch out, but at the beginning she was fine. She chose to be in all of those horror movies. Even when she became famous with Halloween and Halloween 2, she still chose to do the fog. She didn't have to do the fog, and she didn't have to do deadly games, and she didn't have to do um, terror train and prom night, and yet she chose to do all of them.
Stay here, please.
Now Ashley's boyfriend shows up.
She's not here. I know she's in there. She texted me to come over like half an hour ago. She doesn't want to see you.
Isn't this the one he does the Home Alone trick on?
She doesn't love you. She told me.
What I would like to know is what actually happened to him. I wish they'd have made a sequel. Brightburn, that's another one I wish they would make a sequel. Yes, why is that music so loud? It's going to get YouTube on my back. You're right. I agree. I didn't think about that. But once the change in tone of this movie occurred when he knocked her down the stairs, it really does have the feel, the atmospheric feel of You're Next. What? You're Next? Uh, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's Australian. And he knocks him out with a bat. What I wonder, what I wonder is how his parents didn't know that he was this crazy. He stabbed him in the cheek with a pencil. Interestingly enough, Garrett is holding the shotgun that is actually used to kill him later. Yeah, I mean, I know kids can like hide stuff from their parents, but my gosh, this level of psychosis and your parents don't have any idea. I mean, we're not talking just a little bit bad. We're talking about a full blown psychopath for real. Barbara Crampton is another one who like had a lot of fun. becoming a scream queen. I just saw her. I just bought a movie called The Last Stop in Yuma County, and it's got Barbara Crampton in it. She's funny in it. He's barely won though.
You and I, we stay here, we clean up, you go to bed before your parents get home, and then
Arrest me in my jammies. 13-year-old telling someone they got a lot to learn about women.
You texted him. You don't want us to get out, just you invited him here.
I think he's an only child. Was probably some of the problem. So actually, the boyfriend did not show up accidentally. He actually called him on her phone and got him to show up. That's how psycho he is. Luke, played by Levi Miller, he's the only child. He's an only child. I don't know about Garrett. No, she's a neighbor. She's from the neighborhood and she's known him since he was 8. So she's been his babysitter for a long time. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, it's 5 years. She's been babysitting him for 5 years. Which kind of thing you'd think that she would have noticed he was a psychopath as well. But Levi Miller's new movie is Australian as well. It's like a World War One. It's some war in Australia. But I just bought it. I watched this last Christmas, so I haven't seen it since last Christmas. And with almost 3,000 Blu-rays, I can forget a lot in between watches because my mind is so saturated with movie after movie after movie. So now he's trying to get the other boyfriend to come over. Yeah, I think I've got 2,817. So I'm approaching the 3,000 mark, and I'm going to do a special live or something once I know what my 3,000th movie is going to be. Because I use DVD Profiler on my computer to keep track of my collection, and it assigns a collection number as you add them. So some movie is going to be number 3,000, and I can't wait to see what that is. My hero is a guy called Explosive Action, if you've ever heard of him. He is Australian. Ginger may have heard of him, but He is an Australian film collector on here with a channel called Explosive Action. He's got 10,000. He's got almost 10,000. So he definitely beats me. And I'm like, that's all collector's idol is explosive action. Cause that dude, that Australian dude, he is approaching 10,000, whereas I am just approaching 3,000. So as long as you don't have 10,000. I know that's the way I feel. I feel like there's no way I can watch the movies that I've got because I've got 400 or 500 that I still need to watch of my collection. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I live to be 120, I will never be able to see all my movies. But I imagine him with approaching 10,000. I'm like, dude, where does he get the time? You know, but that's the name of his channel, Explosive Action. And he is, wow, almost 10,000 movies. I do that a lot. They're my comfort movies. I was just talking about Passengers, how I don't like when I did my voodoo thing. I was just talking about Passengers as one of my comfort movies. I can't stand Chris Pratt, but I've seen that movie over 60 times since I bought the Blu-ray, and I don't know why. I don't know why we have our comfort movies or our comfort movies. I don't know what it is about Passengers, but it's one of them. At minimum, I've seen that movie 60 times. They probably had to go do something. It's Christmas. I, of course, have no life. My kids are in England, and I talked to them on Skype earlier, and now I'm here alone, and I'm watching Christmas movies, Christmas horror movies. I wonder how old he was when he made this movie, because he's a soldier boy in his new movie. What kind of work do you do that's going to put you at work in the middle of the night on Christmas? That is, if you're in this part of the world. Yeah, but it's isn't it daytime in Australia? See, here it's 8 o'clock at night. Oh, an overnight stalker.
Stop it.
Aus- Oh, you live in Kansas? So it's 7 o'clock there, right? Yeah, I knew it was like the middle of the day in Australia. Oh, you're on Central Time? So am I. We're we are about 60 miles that way from the Eastern Standard Time line. So we're just in Central Time. Now, Australia did just come through for me again, and that is I discovered a movie called These Final Hours. I have I think that I have not been as amazed as I was by a film um, in many, many years when I watched These Final Hours, which is a totally Australian movie. I've thought about moving to Australia because, I mean, I'm in Florida and it's still too cold for me. Um, and I'm also from Blackpool, England. But if I had to choose, I would want to live. Actually, I wanted to live in Kimberley province in Australia. But then some people kept telling me, no, you don't want to live in Kimberley province because it's nothing but a bunch of sand dunes. And I'm like, really? And I told them, well, I don't want to live in southern Australia because that is way too cold. And they're like, no, no, you want to live in Darwin. You want to live on the outskirts of Darwin. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that then.
You said paint can knock you back. Like in the movie. Oh, okay, look, I take it back. Everything I said. I'm sorry. You win. Just stop it, please. Try one more
That's
time.
where they smash his face with the paint can. It's just awful. But yeah, I would like to live outside Darwin, Australia. I would never have to worry about seasonal changes anymore. I want to live somewhere where it's like 80 degrees all year round.
You don't have to do this, guys. You are fucking insane.
Yeah, I couldn't live in southern Australia. I heard it gets cold there. But like northern Australia, I heard that Christmas is like kind of the middle of summer. It's like the temperatures don't really vary very much in northern Australia. That was so gross. But I heard, but I'm in Florida, so I'm all about the humidity. I would have no problem in Darwin because I'm from Florida. So we're very, very used to 98% humidity.
Holy shit, his head just exploded. I told you, damn it. Told you.
He's excited because that boy's head exploded. I'm telling you, he is a total psychopath. The reason I didn't move to Australia though is because I am scared of y'all's animals, man. The spiders and the snakes in Australia. I mean, it's like everything in Australia is like super deadly. That's what I'm scared of.
She gets away, we're both dead.
I have a very big issue with the cold, which is why I haven't went back to Blackpool, which is in northern England, north central England. I hate the cold more than anything. I cannot stand winter. I am miserable. I'm very irritable and grouchy. I'm a very mean man during the winter months. I got a lot of tips about the animals down there. They said, they told me to move just outside of Darwin for the weather. And because I'm in an urban area, that I wouldn't have much of a problem with the spiders and the snakes and stuff because they don't like the city. So, you know, they just said don't go backpacking and don't go into the outback and don't go outside of town and you probably won't get hurt by a poisonous Australian animal if you don't do that. So I'd pretty much stay in town in Darwin, I think. I know, that's what I said. Don't go outbacking or backpacking and you'll probably be all right in Australia. And they have those poisonous frogs too. Now they got it wrapped up in Christmas lights. I love Wolf Creek. I love that movie. There's that little genre of movies. There's that little genre of movies. You have Rest Stop, the Rest Stop movies. You have Wolf Creek. Um, uh, what's the other one? The one with the truck. The guy from Fast and Furious who died in a car wreck. His movies. Joyride. I like the Joyride movies. I like the Wolf Creek movies. I like the, yeah, Joyride. I like all of the Joyride movies. I like all of the Rest Stop movies. I like all of the those kind of things. Wolf Creek had a series. I'm just talking about the Wolf Creek movies. Yeah, Rest Stop is cool, and Rest Stop 2 is fantastic too. I like both of those movies. They're just so gross and weird. They reminded me a great deal of the Joyride movies. People call them trash horror, They're trashy, violent horror. Rest Stop, Wrong Turn, um, Joyride. Oh, I don't really watch series. I think Chucky is the only series that I've watched. I don't like movie to series kind of things. I don't like them. Yeah, Rest Stop is totally trashy. The Joyride sequels are completely trashy. They are so different than the original movie, which is a masterpiece. The original Joyride is a masterpiece. The sequels are not masterpieces. They are total trash, but they are great. You definitely have to be in the mood for the wrong trash. I mean, the wrong trash. The wrong turn movies. They are complete trash. That is true. Which the one that I've got up there? I mean, I love Wrong Turn 1 and 2 are great. But as far as those other sequels, I think the one where the guy inherits the mansion was Wrong Turn 6, where the guy inherits that mansion and stuff. Oh my god, that was too much. But I think it's my favorite of the sequels because it's so bad. They go downhill really fast. Yeah. Six is just so much. Isn't that the mansion? The one where he gets the rich mansion? Isn't that number six? This is the guy, the second boyfriend that shows up. He's the one that just got the job on the new he got the job on the new Power Rangers movie and they wouldn't let him do any of the stunts. Yeah, six was just oh my god. I recently managed to pick up three, Wrong Turn Tree on Blu-ray. Yeah, they definitely should have brought back Eliza. Yeah, I mean that's why he don't like six, but I think it's my favorite of the sequels, three through six. The first two are amazing. Eliza is I think Eliza's problem was that she never like picked something and stuck with it because she was like on her way to being a scream queen, you know. She did a bunch of little horror movies that I really like, you know, and then she started trying to do that series Dollhouse, and she wanted to do a series again, and then she tried to be a serious actress with Robert De Niro and The Good Son. Not The Good Son. It's over there somewhere, but yeah, I think people need to like pick. Sarah Michelle Gellar. I mean, she was so good as Faith in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But yeah, this is the swing scene where the guy gets hung. That's the one they had to come up. The director had to come up with all of these really fancy ways of doing this because the boy's manager would not let him be in any danger. It was kind of funny. But they filmed it well. It worked out well. But yeah, I love Faith and Buffy. I think my favorite one with Faith in it is where her and Buffy switched bodies. That was the my favorite one. Yeah, that's what I mean. She kind of like I don't know why people do that. They're like, I don't want to be typecast, and I'm like, uh, you should be happy that you've got a job. Number one, and number two, if you can go down in pop culture, you will always be remembered. You can be some fancy actress that does all of these high toned movies, but unless you're Meryl Streep, nobody's going to remember you. But if you become a full fledged scream queen, you are always going to have a gigantic mass of fans that will just be all over you. You know what I mean? Cordelia was cool. She went into Angel, and Anya was really cool too. Yeah, I liked her.
No, he's not. He doesn't give a shit about your dad. He uses you. He manipulates you. No friend would cook you tonight.
See, that's why I feel so sorry for Garrett, is because she's telling him the truth, right? I mean, this dude has got you into so much trouble. Yeah, I don't like the course that they made Cordelia take in Angel. I liked Harmony. I think now Harmony's character took a really good turn in Angel, but Cordelia's turn was not good. But I'm really glad they brought Harmony back in Angel because she was like really cool. Yeah, Harmony is amazing. She was an amazing character in Buffy, and I was really glad they brought her back in Angel. Fred. You know, Wesley and Willow in real life were ended up being married. Wesley always made me laugh my ass off. He was like everything that was just, I mean, he was so stupid. Yeah, Wesley, the guy who played Wesley, and the girl who played Willow. That scared the hell out of me the first time I saw this movie when he shotgunned Garrett. That was just, I was just like, I feel so sorry for him. Look what you made me do. You're a psycho, man. Complete psycho. I'm telling you, dude. I know, poor Garrett. And he's Norman Bates for no reason. At least Norman Bates in Psycho, he had a reason. He was made into a monster. This Luke guy, Levi Miller's character here, this dude had absolutely no reason whatsoever to be. He was a born psychopath. But my favorite, no, his parents are really nice. I mean, granted, it looked like they babied him, but you know what I'm saying? He had no abuse. He had no, because even the director said, I can't explain why he's a psycho other than being born that way, because he has no reason. But yeah, my favorite Buffy storyline was, oh my God, when Tara got killed. When they shot Tara, and it's called the Dark Willow trilogy. Those next three episodes where Willow lost her mind and turned into Dark Willow. That is one of the most masterpiece, fantastic pieces of television history that was ever made. Is those three episodes after Tara was killed. And people were so mad. The fan base wanted to like burn what's his face, Josh Whedon. They wanted to burn him at the stake. So he tried to apologize to the fan base by giving Willow Kennedy, you know, made her fall in love again and give her Willow. Yeah, he did that though because everybody was so mad about Tara. Because Josh got in a lot of trouble about that trope about you know always taking out those particular kind of characters. And so he got labeled as, the kill your G's. He stabbed her and thinks she's dead. But so when Josh got into all that trouble, because in the prom scene in season seven, oh no, season 6 or 7, yeah, I was really upset when they cut her in half with that machete. But because he had also killed the other one, the big jock guy who came out and claimed that Xander's the one who got him to come out. He got killed in the big prom massacre where the principal was going to eat everybody. And so Josh got into a lot of trouble by killing those characters, Tara and him. Um, so to apologize, he brought in Kennedy to replace Tara so that Willow would actually have another wife. That would have been cool. I could have handled that. He'd have probably got more action, considering, you know what I mean? And I don't know. Spike, it would be Spike. If you're talking about the favorite big bad out of the Buffy, it would be Spike. Or no, no, no. Okay, if you mean the monsters, it would be the principal. because he was evil. As far as the characters, though, I was crazy about Spike. But yeah, the principal taking that whole season to become the dark one or whatever. Faith was on the principal's side for a while. She was her helper. That's what I meant. There was so much backstabbing in that movie. My favorite goof of the season of the series, it's supposed to be Xander, but it's not. It's the blonde boy, the blonde guy. The trio, the bad trio, the one that end up where the Warren. Oh yeah, man, that scene where Dark Willow skinned Warren against those trees is one of the best scenes of any show of anything ever. Oh gosh, yes, man, I loved Glory, Glorificus. Glory was good. Glory was good. And that's where we were introduced to Michelle Trachtenberg, who shortly then did the 2006 remake of Black Christmas. Bored now, I know. I I don't think that you could express how goosebumps went all over me when she did that to him. When he started, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Please, and she's like, bored now. And she skinned him. I felt such satisfaction. You know what I'm saying? Andrew, yeah, Andrew. Andrew was the one in the trio. He was such a goof. And he was in love with Spike. You know what I'm saying? Andrew was in love with Spike. So now the cops all show up. He's in bed like nothing happened. Now, the first time I saw this movie, um, who was the other little geek? There was the trio. There was Warren and Andrew, and what was the other one? Who had a shy bladder? He annoyed the hell out of me too. Yeah, I don't remember the black Jonathan. His name was Jonathan. Notice how Luke like freaks out when the cops say this one's still alive, and they're rolling her out to the ambulance. She opens her eyes and she looks at him looking out the window because he knows he is now truly fucked. And then she raises her hand and shoots a bird at him. Let me tell you what, the first time that I saw this movie, that scene right there, when she did that and shot a bird at him, I literally jumped up out of this chair and yelled and was dancing around in a circle. I'm not lying. That is literally what I did when she shot him a bird. And I was like, that dude is so screwed. She was a true final girl, man. You thought she was dead. She shoots him a bird. He's gone. She's going to get to the hospital. She's going to tell everything he did, and he's going to spend the next 60 years in a mental institution. I think, Then you always have to watch for the end credit. He's worried about Ashley. We should go to the hospital because he wants to try to get to the hospital to kill her before she can tell on him. That's exactly what she went to do. Now, there may have been some music in the credits, so I stopped it. But it still says my stream is going. So obviously, YouTube didn't do anything either with the language or hearing the movie or what little was played. So that was cool. I think it was successful. But yeah, I am a Buffy fanatic. I've got all seasons of Buffy sitting right over there on DVD in the case. I'd like to really get them on Blu-ray. Um, my series though, like I like the 100 a lot. That was one of my favorite series. The Leftovers, I loved that. But when it comes to like horror films being turned into series, I don't like that. Chucky is the first one. They tried it with Friday the 13th. They tried it with Friday the 13th. They tried it with I Know What You Did Last Summer. The 100 is absolutely amazing. That is one of my favorite modern series that came out, and The Leftovers like blew me away as well. Um, The Leftovers was so weird and it blew me away. Um, I was so invested in the 100 that it's not even funny. I think that was the my favorite series after Buffy. It was the series that I loved the most after Buffy ended. I had not loved a series as much as I did the 100. Yeah, they tried that with Scream. I don't like none of those horror to TV series shows. I just never liked any of them. Chucky is the first one that I've liked. I like regular series if it was made as a series. But if you take a movie and then try to turn it into a series, I didn't like that at all. I just don't do that. I've got all of True Blood right over there on DVD. Even managed to get the first season on Blu-ray. They've got the first season, or they had the first season at Hamilton Books for like $4.99 for the first season of True Blood on Blu-ray. You can often find some really good series, at least the first season anyway, on Hamilton Books. Um, but yeah, now if it was made as a series like Spartacus and True Blood, Vampire Diaries, Buffy, Smallville, I love Smallville. Um, if it was created as if it was created as a series, then I can get into it. But the movie to series thing, I have never been able to do that. I've never been able to get into that. I don't know why, but I think it's because they tone it down usually. They didn't do it with Chucky. But yeah, True Blood is fantastic. That's a fantastic series. I did not expect her to do something like True Blood. I mean, we're talking about Rogue from the X-Men. So when True Blood came out and I heard that it was starring her from the X-Men, I was like, well, this isn't going to be very risque, I mean, if the girl from X-Men is in it, and then it turns out that it's like really, really hard R. So she surprised me. I do have those 2 seasons. I do have 2 seasons of that. Um, Horror with Hoss sent me the season 2 pack of From Dusk Till Dawn, and that made me have to go and buy the first season because I'm not going to watch the second season if I haven't seen the first. So I got the first season on Blu-ray. I still haven't watched them though because it's a horror to series, but maybe it'll be all right. I do have those first two seasons, but I will watch them before I decide whether to get the third one or not. Bates Motel, I got the first season of that from Hamilton Books. And Hell on Wheels, I mean, what's interesting about Hamilton Books as a place to find movies is that they just get some interesting stuff that you don't expect. For instance, um, like I got the first and the third season of Hell on Wheels at Hamilton Books, but like this. And I'm very, very sad that I missed the other two because they did have all three of them. But this is The Hobbit. I've got all three of the Hobbit movies on DVD, and I wanted them on Blu-ray, but I don't want the regular versions. I want the extended versions. And little did I know, this is the Spanish packaging. It's the Spanish packaging, but it's the English Blu-rays, right? So even though it's Spanish packaging, the Blu-rays are English. They just have them packaged for Mexico, I guess. Well, this is the extended version, and it comes with the 3D version. You know how much I paid for that? $3.99. So it's the extended version of Desolation of Schmog. It's the extended version and the 3D version and the regular version, all for $3.99, brand new in the shrink wrap. And the only thing that you're giving up is the fact that it's Spanish packaging. So, I mean, who cares? What matters to me is I got the extended version of the third Hobbit movie on Blu-ray for $3.99 brand new. So Hamilton Books is definitely worth looking through to find some interesting stuff. Um, Rec 4. Um, my feelings on Rec are kind of, well, I got Genesis. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. I love Rec, and I love, Rec 2, but the direction that it took was so different than Quarantine because, Quarantine and Rec are pretty much the exact same movie. But then when it comes to the second one, Quarantine, Quarantine went the virus route. I don't know what the hell Rec did. Rec, you know, Quarantine 2 is like a masterpiece to me. And the only way I can say it is that I love Rec and I love Quarantine equally. But then when you move forward, Quarantine 2 kept it as a virus, whereas Rec then tried to turn it into some kind of supernatural exorcist demon worm thing. And I was like, that wasn't, I didn't like that. Or, I mean, it didn't do for me. Rec and Quarantine are virus movies, like 28 Days Later, viral zombie movies. So when Rec went the demon worm thing, I had issue with that. It made me like Rec less than Quarantine 2, Rec 2 less than Quarantine 2, because I like the virus route. So, yeah. It doesn't mean I don't like Rec. I mean, I just bought the Genesis Rec 3, the Genesis Blu-ray here in the last few months. So it's not that I don't like the Rec films. I just don't like I don't like them, the direction that they took, as much as I like the Quarantine route, because Quarantine 2 kept it as just a plain old zombie virus, and that's kind of what I like my movies to be, not demonic possession shit. So, yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said I don't hate Rec 2. It was interesting the direction that they took it in, but it wasn't satisfying. There you go. That's the best word. Quarantine 2 satisfied me very much. It took it in the direction that I expected it to go. And that whole movie is a phenomenally underrated movie, Quarantine 2. The the ending just blew me away. Wreck, yeah, I mean, I agree with Ginger there. I like them all. I like the Wreck movies. I just it wasn't near as satisfying to me. I like Quarantine and Wreck equally, but Quarantine 2 and Wreck 2, I like Quarantine 2 1,000 times better than Wreck 2, even though I still like Wreck 2, because I really just didn't get into and wasn't very satisfied with the demon possession, demon worm thing. It just didn't do anything to me. Um, the twist, the twist in Quarantine 2, the setting, the gore, the the way that movie ends had me jumping up out of my chair. I mean, I could not believe how good Quarantine 2 was. So if you get a chance, Gore, you should check out Quarantine 2. You know, yeah, I mean, the ending of Quarantine 2 had me like, what the fuck? Quarantine was done really well. Yes, I think so. I forgot. I forgot that I could even do that. I haven't been doing that this whole time. I I'm not one of those to prejudge anything. So like when I saw Quarantine 2 and I got it, I didn't go into it wanting to love it, wanting to hate it or anything. Yeah, the twist in Quarantine 2 was absolutely fantastic. You know, finding out exactly where that came from. But also the twist, what I think okay, this is what I thought was the most interesting thing about Quarantine 2 was they actually kind of switched stars on you, because that little kid, the little guy, during the first 45 minutes of the movie, he was like a side character, and you did not really expect him to become not only, in other words, you had your mind was always thinking, okay, I know who the final girl is. I know what's going to happen. This is really cool. I'm having fun. But then when they switched it all up and it did not turn out anything like you thought that it was going to turn out, it wasn't a final girl, it was a final boy. I did not expect that girl to happen to her what happened to her. And then the way that they ended it was so perfect for a sequel that it makes me want to cry that they did not make a Quarantine 3, picking up right where it left off, because they left it off perfectly when that zombie cat got out. You know, um, and it was a small airport, so it would have been a contained small town situation. When they got down into the event, yeah, that's when I started thinking, I don't think this was going to turn out like I think it's going to turn out. But I like a movie that will not bow to formulas, and Quarantine 2 was definitely one of those because it was heading in a certain direction. The writing in that movie was fantastic. The way that you didn't see that stuff coming, and then when it came, you were very, very satisfied. And then the stuff that happens in the vents at the end between what the final few people was absolutely amazing. And when that movie ended, I was in love with that movie. So, yeah, if you haven't seen Quarantine 2, you really should find somewhere to see it. I've got it on DVD. I can't find it on Blu-ray. Um, if if they, I will add it to my digital. If I've got it in my wish list, the Quarantine and Quarantine 2 double pack. I'll add it to my digital if it goes on sale. Um, but yeah, I would really love a Blu-ray because I have worn out the DVD that I have of Quarantine 2. Uh, I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth on the Cabin Fever sequels because I will make you very upset. I plead the fifth on the Cabin Fever sequels because that makes people upset. People get upset with me because I have to tell them that I actually really, really like Cabin Fever 2. And then when they find out that I think Cabin Fever 3, the Patient Zero, is phenomenal, they're like, okay, I'm true with you. But Patient Zero pissed me off beyond all belief. Um, 2 is so different. Spring Fever, uh, Cabin Fever 2 is so different. It is a slapstick, gore fest, Night of the Creeps kind of thing. Now that's the one I haven't seen. Um, I think I do have it on my wish list. I haven't seen the remake, but man, I mean, I just have to tell the truth, and that is that Cabin Fever 2 and 3, I love them. I love them. You know, Cabin Fever, the original Cabin Fever is like half funny and half horrific. Then Cabin Fever 2 is like completely slapstick, Tucker and Dale, Night of the Creeps, hilarious. And then Patient Zero ain't got no humor at all in it. Patient Zero is extremely scary, extremely gory, and a full out scare fest. And so, but no, I haven't seen the remake. I do have it on my wish list. Um, 'Cause I can't find anywhere to watch it. So if it was like at a decent price, I'd probably get it. A shot for shot remake with a terrible cast. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Cabin in the Woods. Did you know that I didn't see Cabin in the Woods until like 10 years after it was released. I don't have any subscription services. If you watch my Voodoo showing off my Voodoo collection, I do not like streaming services. I do not. I had Netflix for years, and no, after we got 35 different streaming services and what they did to the film industry. You can't even have a conversation with people around a water cooler about movies anymore because every movie that somebody brings up is on one of those streaming services that nobody else has. You know, they want to talk. You know, if me and game, if me and two other people were trying to have a conversation about movies, um, I'll bring up a movie I love, but it's only on Netflix, and they'll bring up a movie they love, and it's only on Paramount Plus, and the other one will bring up a movie, and it's only on Apple TV, and none of them release anything on digital. I mean, on physical. So it's just horrible. I can't stand subscription services. Of what? Cabin in the Woods? What are Cabin in the Wood prequels? Cabin Fever, you mean? Yeah, the streaming services destroyed the physical market and destroyed the film industry, in my opinion, because like you can't find anything. I'm so glad they're releasing Alien Romulus on fucking physical. you know, Otherwise I'd never get to see it. Well, I mean, of course, there are places I can go and watch these movies, but I want to own them. I'm a hands-on guy. I want the stuff in my hands. Speaking of the ruins, I love the ruins. And isn't that the movie with Jenna Malone from Hunger Games? Yeah, they could do prequels to it. I agree, Gore. Yeah. Quarantine 2 deserved a sequel so bad. But you're right. Yeah. I haven't thought about it that way. But rather than do movies that are not only set up, but are perfectly conducive to great sequels, they won't do them. But they will go and do Halloween 72, you know, or something like that instead of going and continuing a new, fresh, and successful story. I wish they would do another. I know what you did last summer because I absolutely am in love with the third one and people hate it. So that's what I mean. People hate me because I love these movies. But um, I know what you did last summer 3 is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal movie. I like the way they brought him back to life. Well, that's very true, but we have a lot of independent filmmakers. I mean, just look at the success that Winnie the Pooh had, you know? I mean, that thing went viral and them people, that director was just floored. So you would think somebody could do these sequels like an independent studio. The Descent. I had to go change out my battery. Well, you would think that's what confuses me is I don't understand with all of these indie companies. Why don't they come and pick up the slack for some of these movies that deserve sequels? However, I understand that they may not be able to procure the rights to do it. I don't remember The Descent 2. So I don't know if I have it. I don't think I have it. I don't remember it. All I know is that the original scared me like really, 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 really bad. It's one of the most scary movies I've ever seen is The Descent. But I think a lot of these movies that should have sequels don't get sequels because the independents cannot procure the rights to them. The big studios will not make them. The big studios, whoever owns the rights to I Know What You Did Last Summer, probably won't relinquish the rights for an independent to make an I Know What You Did Last Summer 4, which I would really like to see. So I think that's a lot of it too. I'll have to see if I can find The Descent too, because I don't recall ever seeing that. And you would think that with a name like The Descent and how much I love The Descent, that I would have seen the second one. So either I've not run across it or didn't know it existed or something because I don't remember ever seeing that. I mean, look at how long it took those assholes to finally release this on Blu-ray. You know what I'm saying? Do you know how popular this movie is? How popular this movie was? It's Rutger Hauer and C. Thomas Howell and uh, Jennifer Jason Leigh and the original The Hitcher. I mean, this is a cult classic, and it took them, what, 30 years before they would even be nice enough to put out a plain little Blu ray of it. I mean, the studios are so ridiculous. People had to literally scream for 30 years for them to put out The Hitcher, to put out a new scan of The Hitcher. Very, very strange. I don't think the studios actually really know which way to go with anything. They are so concerned. They are so concerned with money that they don't even pay attention to what people actually want. Anybody seen Daniel Isn't Real? That's Tim Robbins' son. Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon's son and Arnold Schwarzenegger's son did a horror movie called Daniel Isn't Real. And I got the actual studio release of it with a booklet and everything. That is really nice. That is very good. But hey, I run across weird stuff. Exorcism at 60,000 feet. I can't imagine how terrible that's going to be. But I think I'll probably like it. Yeah, and it's taken them all this time before they gave us a scan, a decent scan on Blu-ray. I had to pick up Strange Darling for my top 10 of 2024 list. If anybody hasn't seen Strange Darling, you really should. Speak no evil. I still say that the Dutch, the original is a lot better than the remake, but it's still he did a good job. Another weird one that I like that a lot of people don't is I kind of like the weird Blair Witch sequel, prequel, reboot, whatever thing it is. I think it was all right. Okay, okay. Just better watch out, folks. Yeah, I think he did a really, really good job. I still like the original better though. Because I had seen the original and it freaked me out. And then I heard they were doing another one. And I'm like, well, at least they picked a good guy to do it. But I'm curious as to how close it's going to stay, you know. But yeah, I mean the Blair Witch thing, whatever it is, because I mean people don't even know what to call it. A prequel, sequel, reboot, just in the Blair Witch universe. um, because I really don't know what to call it either. I don't think it's a prequel. I don't think it's a sequel. I just think it's a Blair Witch universe movie, sort of like the Conjuring universe. I think it's just a Blair Witch movie, but I liked it. But I think I feel sorry for critics and I feel sorry for people that are pigeonholed by what everybody else thinks. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right. So we could call it a sequel, yeah. A direct sequel, yeah. I like Book of Shadows. It's weird as hell. But it was all right. It was like not made very well, but it definitely had a style of its own. But I think people who allow themselves to be pigeonholed by a group, the horror community or whatever, that will stop them from giving movies a chance, uh, stop them from doing something. Well, I can't because all of my friends will tell me that I'm stupid because I know what you did last summer tree, so I better not watch it. And I'm like, well, you're missing out. Yeah, Book of Shadows is like weird as hell. It really deserves like some kind of remaster release. I'd really like to see it in some new form where collectors can get a hold of it. Right. But I think all collectors are that way. I think film collectors are the most honest film lovers that exist is a collector. Critics are nothing. And mainstream film watchers, they just care about Michael Bay boom booms. Um, they're very limited in their scope. I think the real cinephiles are definitely real film lovers. And I think that's the reason why we see things in movies that the mainstream doesn't like. The mainstream didn't like that Blair Witch movie, but collectors usually like it. The mainstream didn't like Book of Shadows, but collectors usually love that movie. So I think we're just a lot more open. Even though we disagree amongst ourselves, we're still a lot more open to all the different kinds of movies out there. But okay, it's definitely a love and a passion because, people will walk into my house and they're like, you do realize you could have bought a new car for what all of these movies cost you over the years. And I'm like, yeah, but they give me a great deal of pleasure and they are like my family. They give me a great deal of pleasure. I couldn't have enjoyed that new car any more than I could enjoy my movie collection. You know what I'm saying? And besides, it's better than being addicted to some of the things you people are addicted to out there. Drugs, uh, whiskey, you know, um, dangerous behaviors, adrenaline junkies. You know, there's a lot worse things to be addicted to and to spend your money on than my movie collection is the way that I look at it. It is about the love and passion, and I am very glad that cinema and film is my love and passion. Yeah, I it's like when you were doing those streams, I guess a few weeks ago, and you said something. I kept looking in my Instagram because I can never remember to go to Instagram. I forget that place. I never remember to go to Instagram, and I kept looking for a link there, a link. So I figured what would happen because you know a lot of collectors, Jinja, um, Slasher Dude, and Killer Pizza, and all of those guys. So you have a lot of guests that you have to make time for. So I mean, it didn't offend me or anything. I know I'm just this little channel with nothing. So um, they probably know a lot more about it or more entertaining than I am. But I did look for a link. I figured what would happen is in the middle of the night, I'll catch you doing a stream and you can just give me the link and I'll jump on. But yeah, we've got to do a watch along of something that we both agree on, which should be a lot. I haven't really seen in any of your videos, I don't really see too much that I've ever disagreed with you. Um, I've never seen too much that you pulled up and showed off that I like disliked, you know? So I'm pretty sure I've got plenty of stuff, and you do too, that we would agree on to watch. So it would be no problem. But thank you, Gore and Jinja and 180. You need to tell me your name. The FD 180. For stopping in, Miss Carter. She stopped in for a little bit before she went to some Christmas celebrations. And now that is what I'm going to do. I am going to go cook some mashed potatoes and biscuits and gravy and stovetop stuffing. Uh, right. Xavier, I love that name. Xavier. But I will see all y'all later. Thanks for stopping by. I really enjoyed talking while kind of sort of watching that. And I will do this more often, maybe, because it is fun. I just have to sit down and make myself do it. But happy Christmas to everybody and holidays or Christmas or holidays or whatever the fuck you call it. To me, it's just another day. And I will see you. And the next thing I do, I will start filming my Dead Festival. Oh, well, hey, Miss Carter, you came in just in time to say Goodbye. I will check your messages. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever it is that you do, bow to L. Ron Hubbard. Whatever, whatever thrills you. And I'm going to go cook me some mashed potatoes now. And I will see you later. Bye bye. I'll check my messages, Miss Carter. I have to like hook back up the TV and everything. I have to switch my computers around again. But I'll see you later. Bye bye.